Hi everybody, Christopher Moss here from prointernetmarketing.co.uk and welcome to video 1 in my series of learning WordPress. So you might have watched the previous video series which I did, which was how to make a website, and in that I actually covered, I think it was video 5 of that series, I covered how to install WordPress on your web hosting. And I said at the time I'd cover WordPress in a bit more detail in a separate video series, and so here this is. So you saw in that video series, if you've been through it, you'll have seen that I installed WordPress using a piece of software called Scriptaculous, or Softaculous should I say, and it was through the cPanel of my web hosting from TSO Host. If you're unsure about any of this and it all sounds a bit weird to you, if you didn't watch that video series, I suggest you stop watching this one and go and watch that one. The link will be in the comments to this video, because otherwise some of this might seem a bit sort of just a bit weird to you at this point. So I've actually deleted the website that I did in that series so that we can start again, and I'm just going to go through the install process again. So I mean, it might just be a good refresher to you. It might, you might want to skip this bit, whatever, but I'm going to go through it anyway for anyone that's sort of starting out and has got hosting and so on, but maybe wants to learn how to install WordPress. Now we're still going to use the cPanel install because basically I think that's the easiest way of doing so. And there is a good reason why I suggest doing it using like a control panel type interface, and that is because if you do it manually, and it's not that difficult to do manually, but if you do, then actually doing updates and so on in the future can be a real pain. So if you do it this way, it's actually just a one-click update, and that will update all your plugins and everything without having to go and download each one manually and all kinds of stuff. So that's why I recommend this. So yeah, if you're unsure and you're not too sure what's going on here, then check out the other video series and you'll be up to speed. So I've logged into my cPanel. I'm still on TSO Host. I'm using whitehoodie.co.uk as my domain. So at this point, I just want to go down and choose the Softaculous software service. So I'm just going to click on WordPress. And let's see, we just click on the install and it's going to ask us for some details as it did in the last video series. So we installed in HTTP, and that's fine, I'm happy with that. These two options here are just basically whether you want HTTP : / or whether you want the www to be your default domain. So that basically, it will change the domain, like the URL to your domain. So it'll change. If someone types in HTTP whitehoodie.uk, depending on which option you choose, it will either force them to this URL or force them to this URL. Google actually recommend that you don't have both live because it sees this www as a separate domain effectively, although not fully. I won't go into exactly all the details around that at this stage, but needless to say, this is forcing you to choose one or the other, and that's not a bad thing really. So I'm going to stick with HTTP : / You've probably got your preference on either. It won't actually affect anyone typing in, so choose whichever you will, whichever you think looks best for your domain. It's asking me for my domain. I've only got one registered to this account, so I can only use it for White Hoodie. In directory, this is just basically saying which level of your domain would you want this at. You could have it at whitehoodie.co.uk / blog, and so in there you would just type in blog. So it's just basically whether you want it in the root of your domain or in a subfolder. It's asking you to choose a database name. I'm happy with the one that it's given me. You can change that without any issue. It's just a script setting, so change away. It's asking you for your site name, so mine is going to be White Hoodie Blog, and site description, my blog about white hoodies. Epic fail, it was a real bad domain name, so yeah, just whatever. So it's asking for a password, so I use strong password generator. You can just click that to get your own, but I like this site, strongpasswordgenerator.com. It's the first thing you get on Google if you just type in strong password. So I'm just going to generate a password there, and that's fine. I'm just going to select that effectively and just take a copy of it with Control C. So then I'm going to paste that in. So my default username is admin. I'm probably going to change that. I recommend actually you change this, but for the sake of this video and for the fact that no doubt as I'm going through this video series I'll forget, I'll leave it as admin, and I'll also make a quick note in here of my username and password just so that I don't forget. So I've got my username and password there. I don't actually recommend you store your username and password in a file like this. This is just a sort of, this is the hosting details. If you're just thinking what on earth's all this, this was actually discussed in the previous video, and by the time that you're watching this, all of these settings will be erased. So steal away, I'm not bothered. You can take all my passwords, it doesn't mean anything to me. So I've got my admin email set up, Chris at White Hoodie. I'm just going to go and stick the install on. So you might have done this before manually, so you probably, if you have, you'll be amazed how quickly this actually works for you. And I've actually had the blog open already, but I'll close that down. And so I've got my two links there. This is the actual domain as is, and then I also have my admin panel. So that's my blog as it is with my Hello World post, and here's my admin panel. So just want to show you also at this stage what's actually been created on the web page. This is my FTP at the moment before anything was installed. I'm just going to hit F5 there, and you can see that it's created all the content there. So at this stage, I actually would recommend, if you've got access to a control panel like I do, if I just go back to my C panel. I'm going to actually take a backup at this stage because I've got my domain, it's installed and everything, and I just want to make sure that I've got all my config files. So I'm just going to run through and do a quick backup. If you've not seen this, again, I explained this in one of my videos in the previous series, so I'm not going to go through it in too much detail, but I'm just going to take a backup there. It's going to go to my fake email name. You'll see it come through in a minute. And also backup destination, yep. So generate the backup, go back. It's in progress. So once I get an email through here, you'll know that my backup's complete. I actually did one earlier tonight when I was running through the last video in the series. I'm just going to delete that, take a few minutes, and there we go. My backup's completed. If I go back to this and do a quick refresh, you'll see that my backup's done. So at the end of this, basically I just want to wrap up this video here. In the next video, we'll be going through actually logging into WordPress and setting up the site in more detail. So this was just a quick overview, really, just to get back to installed and ready to go, rather than working with an already existing blog. So like I say, if you've not yet checked out the previous series, then please do so. I'll leave a link to that series in the notes to this video. I've not actually uploaded it yet. Literally, I just finished it earlier tonight, so I couldn't tell you what the URL is, but see you in video 2.